Hi everybody, today we're going to start our discussion of sequences. A sequence is a function with the domain of the natural numbers. This means a sequence is always going to start with the number 1. For notation, we usually label a sequence with something like a sub n. Here, the subscript n is called the index. The index represents the number's place in the sequence. So for example, if I had the sequence 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 1 would be a sub 1, 4 is a sub 2, 7 is a sub 3, 10 is a sub 4, and 13 is a sub 5. This shows us that the index tells us the term's place in the sequence. Let's practice finding terms in a sequence. We're going to find the first 5 terms of the sequence a sub n where terms are equal to 3 times n plus 5. To find a1, we'll do 3 times 1 plus 5, which gives us 8. a2 will be 3 times 2 plus 5, which is 6 plus 5 or 11. a sub 3 will be 3 times 3 plus 5, which is 9 plus 5 or 14. a4 is 3 times 4 plus 5, which tells us we have a total of 17. Then a5 is 3 times 5 plus 5, which is equal to 20. Let's find the first 5 terms of the sequence a sub n that's defined by 2n squared minus 3. Plugging in 1, we have 2 times 1 squared minus 3, which gives us a value of negative 1. a sub 2 is 2 times 2 squared minus 3. We know 2 squared is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 3 gives us 5. Then a sub 3 will be 2 times 3 squared minus 3. Here, 3 squared is 9, times 2 is 18, minus 3 is 15. a sub 4 is 2 times 4 squared minus 3, where 4 squared is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 minus 3 is 29. Then a sub 5 is 2 times 5 squared minus 3. 5 squared is 25, times 2 is 50, 50 minus 3 is 47. Let's look at a little bit more complicated sequence. This time, a sub n is negative 1 to the n over n squared plus 1. a1 is negative 1 to the 1 over 1 squared plus 1. The numerator will be negative 1, the denominator is 2. When we move on to a sub 2, we have negative 1 squared over 2 squared plus 1. This time, when I square negative 1, I get a positive 1. And in the denominator, 2 squared plus 1 gives us 5. This tells us a sub 2 is 1 over 5. a sub 3 will be negative 1 cubed over 3 squared plus 1. Because I have negative 1 to an odd exponent, I'll have a negative 1 in the numerator. Then 3 squared plus 1 will be 10 in the denominator. So when we move on to a sub 4, where 4 is even, we're going to have negative 1 to the 4th, which is positive 1, over 4 squared plus 1, which is 17. Then a sub 5 is negative 1 to the 5th over 5 squared plus 1. The odd number 5 will give us a negative 1 in the numerator, then 5 squared plus 1 gives us 26 in the denominator. Let's do one more where we find the first 4 terms of the sequence a sub n is 3 to the n, and this time I'm just going to write them all together as a list, which means I'm finding 3 to the power 1, 3 squared, 3 cubed, and 3 to the 4th. We know that's equal to 3, 9, 27, and 81. As you get started working with sequences, remember that a sub n tells us the position of a term. As you're writing out the terms, remember you're always starting at the number 1.